The sin that will not be excused on Judgment Day. What if there was one sin that, even if you were sincere, even if you went to church, even if you believed in God, God would not excuse on the day of judgment? Would you want to know what it is? Would you be willing to examine your life, your beliefs, and even your traditions to make sure you're not guilty of it? According to the Bible, there is a sin that God will not overlook, a sin that most churches avoid preaching about, a sin that is rarely confessed, yet is widespread throughout Christianity. That sin is willful disobedience to the Sabbath commandment. Let's go to Scripture. In Genesis 2:2-3, God finished creation in 6 days, and on the seventh day he rested. He blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, set it apart for holy use. In Exodus chapter 28-11, God gave the fourth commandment, saying, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. The seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God." It is the only commandment that begins with remember, and it's the only commandment that most Christians have forgotten or willingly ignore. God didn't bless Sunday. He didn't bless the first day. He blessed the seventh day, Saturday. Jesus kept the Sabbath, Luke 4:16. The apostles kept the Sabbath, Acts 17:2, Acts 18:4. There is not a single verse in the Bible that changes the Sabbath from Saturday to Sunday. So, where did Sunday worship come from? History tells us that in 321 AD, Emperor Constantine, a sun worshipper, enacted the first Sunday law. On the venerable day of the sun, let all people rest. Later, the Roman Catholic Church boldly declared, "Sunday is our mark of authority. The Church is above the Bible, and this transference of Sabbath observance is proof of that fact." Catholic Record, September 1, 1923. The Bible never changed the Sabbath. Man did. Now read this carefully. Hebrews 10:26 says, "For if we sin willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins." If you know the truth and willfully choose to ignore it, you have no excuse. And in Revelation 14:9-10, God warns, "If any man worship the beast and his image, he shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God." The final test will be over worship and obedience, not lip service, not tradition, but full surrender to God's commandments. Revelation 14:12 identifies the saved. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. So here's the challenge. Disprove that God sanctified the seventh day at creation. Disprove that Jesus and the apostles kept it. Disprove that Sunday worship originated with Rome. Disprove that Revelation's warning is tied to false worship. Disprove that willful disobedience leads to judgment. You can't. This is the sin that will not be excused on Judgment Day, knowing the truth and rejecting it. Don't let tradition cost you eternity. Don't ignore what God wrote in stone. The time to repent is now.